In this video, I would like to talk with you about defining services for your agency. Now, when you start an agency, of course, you need to be clear about what you're offering. So when you, for instance, approach a customer and you don't know what you're offering, well, that's of course bad. So make sure that you know exactly what you're offering and make sure that your customer knows what you're offering. So be very precise, be open, make sure that your customer knows about you, and generally speaking, that your services are also clear. Like, don't structure your services in a way that they're not understandable. Everyone should go or should be able to go to your website or should be able to listen to you and understand directly what you're offering. So let's get started. How do we define our services? Well, first of all, we have to ask ourselves, what would we like to offer? Like, what is the thing that we think is the main service that we are offering? For instance, are you offering translation? Are you offering logo design? Are you offering, let's say, website creation? Are you offering virtual assistants? What exactly are you offering? And as soon as you figure that out, what you want to think about is all the different kinds of services that you would like to offer. Like, let's for instance say you offer translation. Like, which languages are you going to translate? Are you going to translate English to German? And are you going to do vice versa, like German to English? And if you've done that, are you also perhaps interested in doing proofreading? Are you doing content writing? Are you, for instance, also, doing, let's say, legal translation? Are you doing, like, what are the things that you're really offering? Like, let's, for instance, say you will build a ghostwriting agency. That, again, is the niche that is currently the most profitable one in my mind. Like, when you offer ghostwriting, you can, of course, offer a lot more. You can do content writing. You can do article writing. You can do proofreading. You can do, spell checking. There are lots of things that you could be offering. And for all of these things, there are also people on Fiverr who could offer you those services. So make sure that you actually define a lot of different kinds of services, because if you're only offering, let's say, a couple of services, then maybe your customer is going to go somewhere else in order to get something else. But if you're offering a lot of services in the same niche, then the customer knows, all right, this is the one-stop shop where I can go. This is the one go-to place where I can get all of these things done, whether it's proofreading, spell checking, whether it's, writing things, ghost writing, ebook writing, technical writing. All of these things can be done directly by you. Now, from your perspective, you can pretty much offer anything you want because you're not doing the work. You have someone, for instance, on Fiverr who will do the work for you. So make sure that you set up a website, make sure that you set up some kind of online presence that people can check out, where they can read about your services. Make sure that this website or whatever it is very clear, is very precise about all of these services, and you gotta make sure that your customer understands what you're offering. Now, when you offer a lot of services, make sure that you give them some, like, a nice structure or something like that, so that people know exactly, all right, this is, let's say, an agency that focuses on text or something like that, like writing, spell check, proofreading, and so on and so on. Don't offer 20 things at the same time. Let's say, like, logo design, translation, ghostwriting, web development, online shops, marketing, like all of these things together. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. You're pretty much then building your own platform. But what you should rather do is just find a clear, precise focus, like text, like working with text in that sense, meaning ghostwriting, proofreading, spell checking, and so on. Then the second question is this: what would you like to charge extra for? So let's, for instance, say you offer people ghostwriting. Now, what are the things that are included here? Well, of course, writing the text, perhaps a spell check, perhaps, a revision of 1,000 words max. And what are the things that people perhaps need that you could charge extra for? Well, for instance, if they want more than 1,000 words corrected, if they want more than 1,000 words to be rewritten, then of course you could charge for that. You could say per extra, let's say 1,000 words, we charge $100 or something like that. So, offer basically an option for them. Say, for instance, all right, if you need anything corrected, we're going to charge for that. And be, again, clear about this, that if people need that, they got to pay. So what would you like to charge extra for? What are the things that you really want people to buy from you that perhaps are not included in a simple package yet? And what are the things that they might request as soon as they receive what you're creating for them? Now, please don't make a deal out of this that basically sells, let's say, incomplete services. Like, don't, for instance, sell to someone a text where you didn't do any kind of spell or grammar check or something like that, which is, full of mistakes. And then you say, well, you didn't pay for that. You need to pay $200 for us to do a spell check. Like, don't do that. But if there's something that people want extra, then of course they got to pay for that. If the, let's say, book that you write for them is great, you've done a spell check, it is what it is. It is exactly as long as these people paid for, let's say 15,000 words or 20,000 words or something like that, and they just want things to be done and they want things to do differently. You, of course, first of all, you got to do something for free. Like, be open-minded, make sure that you actually offer revisions. But if they want a lot done, or perhaps if they make a mistake and they say, oh, I wish I would have written more about, or I wish you would have written more about this topic here, and I'm sorry I didn't mention that, then of course for these kinds of things, you can charge, and you should charge extra. Then number 3, how much is the service? So how much are you actually charging for different kinds of services? Now, if these are services which cannot really be put into numerical terms, like let's for instance say you write a book and you say I'm going to charge, let's say, 4 cents per word, and you write 15,000 words, well, that's pretty clear. You charge $600 for that. But if, let's say, you're doing consulting, or you do, you create a logo, you do some kind of branding job or something like that, these are things that maybe in some cases you can't really put a figure on. So what you can say is, if you need a price, message us, like tell us what you need, and then we can give you a price. But for books, or for instance simple logos or something like that, you should offer a fixed price. So for instance, say, well, per word we're charging on average, let's say 4 cents, or for these kinds of books we charge 4 cents per word, and then you write these books for that given amount. So that for that amount, for instance, 4 cents per word. Then number 4, which services could be attached? Now, what I would recommend you to do is to find services that could be attached to an existing service. So in my case, for instance, if I were to start, let's say, a ghostwriting agency, and I write books for people in English, and I also offer them to translate the book in Spanish, then the translation of the book into the Spanish language would be an attached service. So people basically ask me for, let's say, the English book. So we do the ghostwriting for them. This is just an example. And then they receive that product, they receive that book, and they're happy about that. And afterwards, what I do is I send them a message and be like, by the way, we can translate the entire book for $200 extra if you like into Spanish. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, maybe this is a good idea. Maybe we should pay that. Maybe we should actually spend some money on that. And that is basically what could be done here. So then number 5, what are the services recurring? Now, recurring in the sense that people need that again and again and again and again. What you would do here is this. If, for instance, people, let's say, need a book to be written, like ghostwriting, or they build a t-shirt business and they need t-shirt designs, then you want to try to keep these customers because they need more and more books when they want to become successful on Amazon Kindle. Or if they want to, make a lot of money with their t-shirt business, they need more and more t-shirts. Or let's say they want to build an icon business where they sell icons, then of course you need more and more and more icons from you. So what you should do is just simply this. You should try to make sure, or you should basically put effort into making these people long-term recurring customers so that you can charge for the service again and again and again and again. So when people, for instance, build a t-shirt business and they need every week, let's say 100 designs or something like that, you can charge for that. And you basically have to give them the best price ever so that they come back again and again and again and again in order to purchase from you again and again and again and again. This is a very, very easy way to make money on a recurring basis, and you don't have to worry too much about your finances if you do that. So these were now a couple of strategies on how to really structure your services. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope we can see each other in the next one.